Hi, my name is Leslie Ann Kilpatrick, and today we are going to be studying fractions with fudge. But the fudge recipe, and it doesn't have to be fudge, it's really just the idea of stress baking led to this lesson. The only key is that you want to yield a rectangular shape. So I chose fudge, it's pretty easy to work with. It's hard once it's frozen, so it's easy to structure into geometric shapes. But you could really do it with a cake, a loaf pan. The idea is that you yield a rectangle so that we can learn how cubes relate to fractions when cutting our rectangle. So that's the only real key for this activity, is having something good to eat, something within your dietary needs. And as long as it yields a rectangular shape, you're in good shape. But for those of you who are curious about the fudge, usually when I do this in person, my students get to eat fudge. I have the recipe here, and I'm happy to send you a link to this later. So I had this idea because I have a student this year who's struggling with fractions. And a lot of times when you're struggling in math and the class moves on, it's like, okay, well, now fractions are on the back burner, and now we're working on volume. So in her situation, she didn't quite comprehend equivalent fractions and common denominators, and her class was already moving on to volume. So me as a tutor trying to get that foundation was like, well, how can I relate this to what she's studying at school? So I came up with the idea that we can, obviously, you can relate anything to fractions, because fractions is a very foundational part of mathematics. So I made her a big block of fudge, and we cut it into shapes, and I guided her through it to evaluate different equivalent fractions I'm going to do for you today. So first step, as always, of cooking, baking, cleaning, living this life we're living, is to wash your hands. So clean hands before handling said fudge, first thing we do. If you have younger students who aren't really ready to handle knives, I know my student has a kid knife, and it has like a hook, kind of like a scissors. You have your hands in the hook, and definitely this should be a supervised activity, because I was like making sure her knuckles are put away. If anyone has food industry skills, keep those knuckles out. So yes, if you're working with younger students, I definitely advise supervision and maybe utilizing one of these kid-proof knives that they make to encourage children to learn cooking. I've graduated from my kid-proof knife, so I have with me a regular knife. Any old kitchen knife will do. And I have our fudge laid out, and I'm going to aim the camera down so you can see what we're up to here. Okay, so what we have here is a rectangular prism. The most important thing about understanding volume is identifying your edges. So one way that I've enforced this with my students is thinking length is left to right. Length is left to right. So that's going to be your length. And when we talk width, it gets a little confused. You're like, what's length, what's width, what's height? And the main key is that the length and the width are going to stay on the bottom, because we want to consider the base area. The base area is like if this was a 2D shape and we have length and width, right? So length is left to right. I think of width as forward and back, and height, they all get height, right? Height is up and down, right? We're all growing height. Height is up and down here. So if we were to do a rough estimate here, I have the length of the knife is about our length. I'd say this is about 4 inches. So we have roughly 4 inches long, and a little less than that, I'd say for 3.5 inches wide. And I think this is probably a 1/2 inch high. Now, don't write down those dimensions because we're cooking here. Whatever length you come out with and whatever height and width you come out with is fine. Just take a moment to identify it. Left to right is my length, forward and back is my width, up and down is my height. And you could get a tape measure or a ruler and actually measure it. Wash your rulers first. Half, what are you talking about? You said we wanted 4 logs. Now we have 2 rectangular prisms. Well, if I want 4ths and I have a half, well, I can use a common factor to convert this into 4ths, right? What happens if I divide this half in half? Now we have something that looks like almost 4 logs, right? We have 2 logs and then a big chunk, right? Stack my 2 logs on top. Hey, look, that's equivalent. 2/4 is equivalent to 1/2.